Dear students, today we will continue our topic dimensional analysis, and this is its third lecture. In this lecture, I would tell you about a method or about a technique which is known as Buckingham's pi theorem, which comes under dimensional analysis. You know, the purpose of dimensional analysis is to parameterize your equation or to parameterize your physical system, which is described in terms of the values obtained through experimentation. So what I mean to say that there may be the situation where the equations are not framed, rather you know the parameters involved in a physical phenomena through some experiment, and then we want to we want to introduce or we want to present this experimental information in terms of non-dimensional parameters. The reason being that if you non-dimensionalize your equation, then it is very easy to predict the results of the experiments for different group of values of the parameters. Secondly, if we non-dimensionalize an equation, or we can express some experiment in terms of non-dimensional parameters, then we can express one parameter in terms of other parameters involved in the problem. Secondly, as we saw earlier, that we get the scaling law with the help of dimensional analysis, so that the results obtained from the model may be utilized for prototype. So in the last part of dimensional analysis, we'll go through the Buckingham's pi theorem, which is in actual a technique to produce non-dimensional parameters, non-dimensional numbers in a physical problem. So we will start Buckingham's pi theorem. In very simple words, you can understand Buckingham's pi theorem in such a way that suppose you have some experiment or you have some physical phenomena, and in that physical phenomena you have n parameters which are describing. There are n variables or n parameters which are describing this experimental phenomena. Now the fundamental dimensions involved in these variables, as you know that each and every variable like the density, like velocity, pressure, drag, etc., may be written in terms of fundamental dimensions, which are 5 in number or 7 in number, and in general we use 3 fundamental dimensions, that are length, mass and time. So whatever be the situation, according to that we will take the decision. So experimental or physical phenomena is involving n variables, and fundamental dimensions are suppose m in number. Then Buckingham pi theorem says that this physical phenomena or the variables involved in this physical phenomena may be expressed in terms of pi terms. So this implies there exist n minus m non-dimensional pi terms describing this phenomena. So in Buckingham's pi theorem, there are two things which are important. Number one, a complete set, say S, then S is the set of dimensionless products of given variables. In simple words, you can say, suppose I say that Reynolds number is the member of this S, then what is Reynolds number? Reynolds number is dimensionless, and I am also saying that it is the group of dimensionless parameters. So Reynolds number is the product of is represented as ratio of inertia force to viscous force, and in terms of parameters it is rho, you say rho u L upon mu. This is the Reynolds number. So it is the product of rho, u, L and mu inverse. So S is the set of dimensionless products of given variables, and S is complete if every S belonging to S is independent of independent. And second thing is, it is independent of other members of S. Other members of S. And the second thing which is important in Buckingham's pi theorem is that there are m homogeneous equations in n unknowns. Then there exist n minus r independent solutions where R is the rank of the matrix of coefficients of m equations. And any other solution may be written as a function of, or you can say as a linear combination of n minus r solutions. So these are two things which are important in Buckingham's pi theorem, and I'll explain you Buckingham's pi theorem process with the help of an example to make this more clear. So first of all we will consider an example, and then we will write the procedure of Buckingham's pi theorem in theory form. So for this we take some example. Suppose we consider the motion of an object falling by gravity. Consider the motion of an object falling freely under gravity. through a vacuum it simply means that there is no air drag. The initial location of the object be z0 and initial velocity be w0 in z direction. Now find elevation z. In the problems or physical phenomena where we want to parameterize the variables or we want to introduce non-dimensional parameters, you will see that the experiment itself will introduce you the variables involved in the problem. For example, in this problem, what are the variables? Consider the motion of an object falling freely under gravity. So it simply means that the parameters involved are acceleration due to gravity, and that is g. Second parameter involved is that the initial location of the object by z0. Initial location is given as z0. So initial location z0. Initial velocity is w0. And find elevation. You have to find the elevation. It is z. So your experiment will itself explain the variables involved in the problem. In this case, the variables involved are 4 in number. So the step 1 is list the parameters. Involved in the problem. This is our first step, that we have list the parameters. Now second step says that write the dimensions. Write the fundamental dimensions involved in parameters. So under step 2, I have to write the dimensions. Dimensions of G. Dimensions of G are L T minus 2. Dimensions of Z0 will be L. Of W0 will be LT inverse. And of Z, one parameter is missing, I think initial velocity, that means time is also involved in this problem. Time is also involved. Now dimensions of Z are L and dimension of T are time, because time is the fundamental dimension. So this is step 2. Now step 3, count the number of fundamental dimensions involved. Because it was in the statement of Buckingham's pi theorem that if there are n number of variables, these are n number of variables, involved in a problem and if there are m fundamental dimensions. So what are the fundamental dimensions over here? These are L and T. So this is step 3, that you have calculated the number of fundamental dimensions. These are length and time. So these are 2 in number. Our Q becomes 2. Now step 4, we choose the repeating variables. What are the repeating variables? The number of dimensions, fundamental dimensions involved will be the number of repeating variables. So choose variables same in number as fundamental dimensions involved, such that these are independent. This is the next step, and main thing is that these variables are called repeating variables. So now fourth step is to choose these variables. Three types of similarities: geometrical similarity, kinematical similarity, and dynamical similarity. So when we choose the repeating variables, the variables should belong to the different categories. They should not belong to the same category. In this way, when I have to choose the repeating variables, this is on my choice that how I will choose these variables. For example, this dimension z0 and this dimension z, these two are related to the geometry, so these are the geometrical variables. But because its dimension is also L and its dimension is also L, so I have to choose any one of these. So it is on my choice that which one I choose. Suppose I choose this one as the repeating variable. Similarly, I have to take another variable which should be either from kinematical or from dynamical. I see that W is velocity, so it is related to kinematics. I may choose W0, or I may choose G because G is a force, so it is related to dynamical property, not similarity, sorry, property. So it is geometrical property, it is dynamical property, and it is kinematical property, and it is dynamical property. So it is my choice. I have to choose only two. So I am choosing these two. I am choosing this one, and this one. Okay. So in step 4, my fundamental dimensions, fundamental parameter or repeating parameter, repeating variables are Z0 and W0. Now what is the next step? That total number of parameters, that was step 5. Total number of parameters were 5 and 2 are the repeating variables. That means I decide the number of pi parameters. These are the number of pi parameters. The parameters in terms of which you can express your problem. So in step 5, I would write these pi parameters like this implies there exist 5 minus 2 is equal to 3 pi terms. These terms are non-dimensional. Now how I write these pi terms? I write the first pi term, pi 1. I will have 3, pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3. So what will be pi 1? This would be written in terms of remaining parameters, like pi 1 may be written for g, pi 1 may be written for remaining t. You see on this sheet, on the previous sheet, yes, you see here, this has been chosen, this has been chosen. Okay, these are the repeating variables. Now I have to write one term corresponding to this, one term corresponding to this, and one term corresponding to this. So first of all I am taking for t, then I will take for g, and then I will take for z, or whatever be the sequence. Sequence is not so important. So I am writing pi 1. Pi 1 is equal to time variable. Then first you take the geometrical z naught. Suppose I write it to be raised to the power a1. Then w naught raised to the power b1. So what I did, these two are repeating variables. This is the number corresponding to which I want to find a pi term. So I write pi 1 is equal to t, the parameter corresponding to which I want to find a non-dimensional parameter, and then repeating variable to some power, repeating variable to some another power. So I write pi 1 in this form. And now what is this pi 1? Pi 1 is non-dimensional. So what will be its dimensions in terms of L and T, because L and T are our fundamental dimensions involved? L raised to the power t raised to the power 0, because it is non-dimensional number. What are the dimensions of t? These are t raised to the power 1. Z naught, dimensions of z naught were L raised to the power a1. Dimensions of w naught L, t raised to the power minus 1 raised to the power b1. So this is the way of writing or introducing the first non-dimensional parameter. Now what I do, we compare both sides for the same dimensions. Like I am comparing the powers of L. Here the power of L is 0, here the power of L is a1, and then it is b1. So I get this equation. This is the equation. Similarly, I am comparing the powers of t. So here it is 0, it is 1, and minus b1. This implies b1 is equal to 1, and putting in 2 you get a1. a1 is equal to minus 1. So in this way you get a1, you get b1. Now substitute these values in 1, and pi 1 is equal to t z naught raised to the power a1. a1 is minus 1, and w naught raised to the power b1. b1 is 1. So you get your first non-dimensional parameter, t w naught. W naught is in suffix. T w naught divided by z naught. You can very well check its dimensions. This will be 0. It will be non-dimensional parameter. Now similarly, I would find the next one. Next parameter is pi 2. I am finding this pi 2 corresponding to g. So it will be g. Then again z naught raised to the power a2, w naught raised to the power b2. Again this is L raised to the power 0, t raised to the power 0. Dimensions of g are L, t minus 2. Z naught means L, L raised to the power a2, w naught lt minus 1 raised to the power b2. Again comparing the two sides, 0 powers of L. Here power of L is 1 plus a2 plus b2. This is 4. this will be 5. Power of t 0 minus 2 minus b2. So from here we get b2 is equal to minus 2. Now put b2 here. 1 plus a2 minus 2 is 0, or a2 is 1. So finally you got your pi 2. Pi 2 is equal to g z naught raised to the power a2. a2 is 1, and w naught raised to the power minus 2. So it is minus 2, or you can say it is g z naught upon w naught square. In Buckingham's pi theorem, or in this procedure, you can also manipulate your pi numbers. For example, this number, if I write this number as w naught, suppose I write this as w naught upon gz naught, then it will be the Froude number. So I may also write this pi 2 in terms of Froude number. Okay, so there is no restriction to write in the same way. You may manipulate it. Now in the same way I'll get the third one, pi 3. Pi 3 will be written for z. It is z naught a3 and then w naught b3. Again the same procedure, L naught T naught. Z means L, so L raised to the power 1. Z naught means again L raised to the power a3, and it is LT minus 1 raised to the power b3. Comparing, 0 is equal to 1 plus a3 plus b3, and 0 is equal to minus b3. So in this case b3 is 0, and solving, your a3 will be minus 1. So last number pi 3 is equal to z and z naught raised to the power minus 1. So I am writing z upon z naught. This is the next number. So in this way you have found 3 pi numbers, because overall you have 5 parameters. 2 are the fundamental parameters. So you can get the 5 minus 2, that is 3 pi numbers. So now finally how I will write my expression. See, pi 1. You got this pi 1 to be, your pi 1 was t w naught upon z naught. Your pi 2 was g z naught w naught square, and your pi 3 was z upon z naught. Now question was, what is this elevation z? What is this elevation z? So what I write, Buckingham pi theorem says that your original problem, my original problem was, suppose q1, q2, q3, q4 and q5. I was having 5 parameters is equal to 0. So Buckingham pi theorem says that this may be written as function of pi 1, pi 2, pi 3 is 0, or pi 1 may be written as function of pi 2 and pi 3, or pi 2 may be written as function of pi 1 and pi 3, or pi 3 may be written as a function of pi 1 and pi 2. So I am writing pi 3 as a function of pi 1 and pi 2. What is pi 3? Pi 3 is z upon z naught, and this is function of pi 1. Pi 1 is t w naught upon z naught, and pi 2 is g z naught upon w naught square. In this way, what is your z? Z is z naught function of w naught upon z naught, g z naught upon w naught square. You may also write it in terms of Froude number. So this is the elevation which we have found with the help of non-dimensional parameters. These are the non-dimensional parameters. So this is the elevation. So this is the process of Buckingham's pi theorem. So in theoretical form, how will you write this procedure of pi theorem? We would say that the theorem says that let a physical problem be given as a function of n parameters, not m, these are n parameters, and these parameters involve some fundamental dimensions. Let f1, f2, fm be the fundamental dimensions involved. Fundamental dimensions involved in the problem. These are also called reference dimension, because at many places you will get it as reference dimension. Then there exist m, if there are m fundamental dimensions, then there exists m, or you can say then we may write q1 in terms of f1, a11, f2, because these are the fundamental dimensions. ए इसको हम ले लें सेकेंड रो फर्स्ट कॉलम, a21, f3, a31, and then fm, am1, q2 as f1, a21, f2, a22, f3, a23, and fm, am 1, 2, 3. Just a minute. These are wrong. I have to write f1, a12, f2, a22, f3, a32, and then fm, am2. Yes. And likewise qn will be f1, a1n, f2, a2n, f3, a3n, and fm, a nm, am. Right? Now if number of fundamental dimensions is greater than or equal to number of variables involved, then the units of q1, q2, qm may be considered as fundamental units. Otherwise, if m is less than n, then there exist pi terms n minus m in number such that pi is non-dimensional. Non-dimensional. And naturally this non-dimensional number will be written in terms of these fundamental dimensions. So how will I write this pi? Pi is equal to q1 raised to the power x1, q2 x2 and qn xn. Now what are the dimensions of pi? This is non-dimensional, so naturally it is f1 0, f2 0, f3 0 and fm 0. Now what is the dimensions of q1? We don't know. The dimensions of q1 will be written in terms of these fundamental dimensions. So it may be f1 a11, f2 a21, f3 a31 and fm am1 raised to the power x1. Similarly this q2 will be written in terms of f1 to fm. So it will be f1 a12, f2 a22, likewise fm am2 raised to the power, this is x2. Finally f1 a raised to the power 1n, f2 a raised to the power 2n and fm a raised to the power mn raised to the power this one xn. Now comparing the two sides, here you will get 0 coefficient of power of f1. Here it is a11 x1, then a12 x2 and likewise a1n xn. Next a21 x1, a22 x2, a2n xn. In this way the last equation am1 x1, am2 x2 and amn xn, which I got by comparing these. So this is a system of I'll write here, this is a system of m equations in n unknowns. System of m equations in n unknowns. And what is the coefficient matrix? With the coefficient matrix, it is a11, a12, a1n, a21, a22, a2n, m1, m2, mn. This is the coefficient matrix. Now let R be the rank of this matrix. If R be the rank of matrix 2, then number of, this is the theorem of matrices, then the number of independent solutions will be n minus r, and these n minus r are nothing but the non-dimensional parameters, which are in actual the non-dimensional parameters. This is what Buckingham's pi theorem says. There we have taken q in place of r, so that was n minus m. there we have taken m, so that was n minus m. So this is Buckingham's pi theorem, theory of Buckingham's pi theorem, and that was the example which I told you in the starting of this article. I may also explain this with the help of one more example. Like you may take another example. Consider steady flow of an incompressible Newtonian fluid through a long smooth-walled horizontal pipe measure the pressure drop per unit length of the pipe and find non-dimensional parameters involved. Now in this case you have to decide that what parameters are involved in this question. So under step 1 we choose or we inspect that what are the parameters involved in the problem. Here you are working with the flow through a long smooth walled horizontal pipe. It simply means the diameter of the pipe is important, because you have to take the flux etc. Then you will have to find its radius or diameter. So diameter of the pipe, which is d, so it is one parameter. Then because your fluid is incompressible Newtonian fluid, so density may be the important parameter, so I am taking density as another parameter. Then viscosity is mu, and then flow, so velocity is v, and if I say I take gravity, then it will be g, but your pipe is horizontal. It means that everywhere the level will be same, or you can say that gravity force may be neglected in cases of horizontal pipes, so this gravity will not be the parameter involved in this problem. Next, measure the pressure drop. So pressure drop is connected to gradient of pressure. So pressure drop is equal to gradient of P, which you have to find. So it is delta P. So these are the parameters involved in your problem. Now you have to find pressure drop. It simply means you have to find this delta P or some parameter involving delta P in terms of the remaining parameters. So under step 2 we find what are the dimensions of the parameters involved. So what is the dimension of D? Naturally it is related to length. Then dimension of density, it is mass per unit volume. Then dimension of mu, viscosity, which is m, L inverse, T inverse. Then dimension of V, it is length per unit time. And dimension of delta P, pressure, it is m, L minus 2, T minus 2. So under step 2 we write the dimensions, and next we come to step 3. Under step 3, we choose we count the number of fundamental dimensions involved. Here fundamental dimensions are length, mass and time, all the three. So fundamental dimensions involved are is equal to L, M and T, that is 3. These are the reference dimensions. So step 4, choose the repeating variables. You have to choose 3 repeating variables because fundamental dimensions involved are 3. So when I choose 3, I have to choose these 3 out of these 5. Okay. And as I told you earlier that one should be geometrical, one should be kinematical and one should be dynamical. We should try to take in this way. In this case, diameter of the pipe may be taken as fundamental repeating variable. So suppose I take repeating variables as D, and then density, I may take density, and then I may take velocity. These 3 are the repeating variables. Now step 4, step 5. How many pi parameters will be introduced in this problem? Number of pi parameters. These are total number of parameters were 5. So 5 minus 3, that is 2. So first of all, I'll write my pi 1. Pi 1 is equal to, I may write pi 1, देखिए, this I have chosen, this I have chosen, this I have chosen. So I may write pi 1 with respect to mu, or I may write pi 1 with respect to delta p. Suppose I write delta p, then d raised to the power a, rho raised to the power b and v raised to the power c. You take 1 and 1. Its pi 1's dimensions are 0, 0, 0. So L raised to the power 0, M raised to the power 0, T raised to the power 0. And delta P, M, L minus 2, T minus 2. Then D means L, A1, rho, L minus 3M, mass per unit volume, B1, and L, T minus 1, C1. Compare the two sides and get equations in A1, B1 and C1. When you solve it, you will get B to be minus 1, then C to be minus 2 and A to be 1. So now I am writing my pi 1. Pi 1 will be delta P D raised to the power 1, rho raised to the power minus 1, V raised to the power minus 2. Or it is delta P into D upon rho V square. This is our pi 1. This is one parameter. Likewise, I may take my pi 2. Pi 2 will be regarding mu. So mu D raised to the power A2, rho raised to the power B2, V raised to the power C2. Write the dimensions M0, L0, T0. It is M, L inverse, T inverse. T is L, A2, M, L minus 3, B2 and L, T raised to the power minus 2, C2. These are the dimensions of D, rho and V. Again compare the two sides and get the values of A2, B2, C2. And you will get A2 will be minus 1, B2 will be minus 1 and C2 all will be minus 1. In this way your pi 2 becomes mu upon D rho V. Now you have two parameters, pi 1 and pi 2. So in last step I may write pi 1 as a function of pi 2 or pi 2 as a function of pi 1. Since I have to give the value of pressure drop, I'll write pi 1 as a function of pi 2. This is delta P d upon rho v square. Pi 1, value of pi 1 is this much, and it is a function of mu upon rho dv. So finally your delta P is equal to rho v square upon d function of mu rho d. So you get your pressure drop in terms of non-dimensional parameters. So this is all about Buckingham's pi theorem, and this is all about your dimensional analysis. Thank you so much.